Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you are all up and at 'em on today. So we're going to come on just for a brief moment. We haven't been on in a while, but I'm moving in a different area in this season. And this season is what God says. I know. So good morning, and good morning again to those of you that are watching this morning. My name is Victoria Hall. I am the CEO, founder, and facilitator of Victoria Elevates. And so this morning, I want to come and say good morning to all of you. To those of you that have been wondering and have been asking and sending in messages and asking, when are you coming back? Well, I'm back right now. So go out there and tell, care, share, and like, and send some messages to some people that you know that would be interested in watching on this morning. To those of you that will have not seen the post, we are bringing on this Sunday night, my good friend, Dr. D. Faulkner and her wonderful husband, Dr. Robert Faulkner, will be our guest on Uncensored Conversation with Elevated Not Tolerated. We have been talking about divine destiny for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to continue that series until God says it's enough, right? So this week they will be with us, and we're going to be talking about what it's like to have a praying relationship, a God divine relationship. Because when you're talking about divine destiny, you have to have people in your corner, people in your life that can help you get it to that next level. And sometimes, when you're single, I'm a single person, been single for quite some time now. But when I tell you, sometimes you need that extra push on the side. So this weekend at on Uncensored Conversation, we will have Dr. D and her husband, Dr. Robert, will be with us, and there are life coaches as well. D and I have went through P4 Coaching Institute under the phenomenal Dr. Tilda Whitaker for P4 Coaching. And so that's how she and I met. So she's going to be with us her and her husband's going to be with us on Sunday. So please make your plans to join us now. It's going to be a great time. You do not want to miss it. I promise you. And so we're just kind of reaching out to a couple of people that, have been asking, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? Well, we're back. And we want you to know we're back. So we're waiting for a couple of people that normally watch and support the program. So go out there and tell them we're here. Go out there and tell the folks that we're here this morning. Because I want to talk about this just a little bit, because I think it's important that we all understand our purpose, some of our purpose and our positions and why things we're experiencing. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Ginger. Thank you, ladies, for joining me this morning. Please care, share, and like with other folks out there and let them know that we are here. So this morning, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about some of the things that we as individuals go through, and probably why we are going through them in this season. And I'll be honest with you, you can see me rubbing. It's because there's a little pain going on, but we still gonna give it 100% until God tells us to get off. So this morning's topic is your shoes. This morning's topic is your shoes. And so I know many of us have probably used the phrase, if you're going to walk in my shoes, or if you say, honey, I wouldn't walk in your shoes. We've used that phrase over and over again for many reasons. And sometimes the reason that we thought, hey, Jack, good morning. Thanks for watching, my friend. When I tell you that sometimes we've used that phrase, I thought, if you could walk in my shoes, you would know what I was going through. If you had the opportunity to experience what I'm going through. Well, this morning I want to talk to you about what that really looks like on a different level. Some of us we have procrastinated long enough on some issues. We've stopped long enough. We've held ourselves and we've delayed ourselves with some things. And now it's time for us to move to that next level, right? Your shoes are important because only you can walk in them. hmm Let me tell you something. As I was talking to a good friend of mine on yesterday, one of the things that as we are going through this segment of our life, as we're experiencing things on a different level, as we're seeing things move in the atmosphere, one thing is for certain: it could not happen without you being a part of it. See, some of us have stopped in our places. We've stopped on the side of the corner. We've delayed moving forward for one reason or the other. Either it has been we've been waiting for someone, or we've been expecting something to happen. Is that correct? Can I be honest with you? Even in business and in business ventures, sometimes we delay because we don't know, or we may not experience what is important, right? Can I be honest with you? Sometimes that's the only excuse that we can have. One of the things that we're going to be talking about in our next class, and my students that are, that are joining, that will join me in that experience, will understand that we're going to be talking more about how we develop the confidence. We're moving from confidence to developing some maneuvers and how to determine when it's time to take control and be disciplined enough to say that I know what's in my circle. See, that oftentimes the reason why we're not walking, we're not moving, is because we don't know what that looks like. We all have that concept of fear, right? We experience fear on a different level. We don't know how to see some things on a different level. When I tell you that this is the time where you walking in your destiny, while you are walking in what is called for you, when you start moving in that atmosphere of what is true for you, is what's gonna change the trajectory of your life. Mhm. Can I be honest with you? That then in the last few months, and many of you have heard me talk about this, I have experienced being a long hauler. And one of those things that affects that is sometimes you don't have the energy that you used to. Well, one of the things that I learned about that is because you got to learn to move when it's your time. You got to learn to move when the energy level is there. Sometimes my students will fuss at me and say, well, you're doing too much, you're doing a whole lot. Can I be honest with you? You got to learn how to slow your roll. You got to learn how to slow your pace. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, but it's based on the shoes that you're walking in. Sometimes I posted a picture, and I may post it later. And if you see it posted later, you might want to notice the code that's at the bottom of it, because it's an indication that you may be able to get a discount on the next class. That's a hint. When I tell you, I posted a picture about maybe 2 years ago, when I was working with Coach Donna Neely and self-esteem, when I was working on this weight loss, if you will. One of the things I posted was a picture. It was a picture of a pair of sneakers and a pair of high heel pumps. Okay. Let me tell you what that symbolized at that time. Good morning, Kim. Let me tell you what that symbolized at that moment, at that time, right? It symbolized that I can move from running to walking sophisticatedly, right? Sometimes you got to understand that it's the shoes that you're putting on that reflects the atmosphere that you're walking in. Somebody better catch that. Sometimes the type of shoes that you are wearing is reflecting the atmosphere that you're walking in, right? When I put on my sneakers, I'm running. I've got to get where I got to get to. I got to put them on so that nothing hinders me. When I put on my heels, when I put on my pumps, that says that I'm ready I'm walking into another higher level. See, you got to understand that in this season, you walking in your shoes is appropriate for the atmosphere that you're walking in. See, many of you may never get this. It's not about the physical appearance. It's not about what you have on, but it's about the mindset that you're walking in. See, some of us, we're walking at a slower pace because we don't have on the proper attire. See, some of us look at this, but I want you to look on the inside. I want you to go to in the in-depth parts of the inside of you and look at that attire. I want you to look at what you are supposed to be walking in right now. I can't walk in your shoes. Can I be honest with you? The reason why some of us continue to stumble and fall is because we put on somebody else's shoes that doesn't belong to us. See, many of us have many talents. I spoke this yesterday to a group of people. I said, some of us, if we have multiple talents, but we only activate and we only operate in one of them. A few weeks ago, I was reminded, if you will, someone said, I see you doing the reefs again. Well, I'm glad you're doing that because that's what you should be doing. Can I correct all of that for you, for someone out there today who may think that you can only operate in one of your gifts? That is not why God gave you multiple gifts. He gave you multiple gifts so that you can walk effectively in all of them, right? So I can walk in the wreath biz. I can walk in elegant elevations when I need to. Hello, someone. I can walk into the positive self-building class when I need to and when I love to, right? I can move into the coaching arena when I want to, when I need to. Why? Because I know what pairs of shoes I need to walk in. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning, but I want to encourage you on today to do not delay yourself because you don't think that you can operate in multiple gifts, because you can. One of the things that I want to encourage you on this morning is that you got to know your shoes. I want you to sit right there for a few seconds with that. Some of you have got to understand that it's important that you walk in your shoes. Now, let me kind of regress and let me go back to a small thing right here. I want to tell you this. Know your shoe size before you put it on. Somebody catch that for me. Somebody post that hashtag, know your shoe size. Somebody hashtag that right now. Know your shoe size. Why is that important? Do you not know the very reason why most of us stumble and fall is because we got on the wrong size shoe? I look at my grandson sometimes, and sometimes he likes to play with his auntie's shoes, right? And he's only 5, so you can imagine the shoe size difference. He puts the shoes on, and as he's running, he's having to drag them and flop, flop, flop. Some of you are flopping because you have on the wrong shoe. Know your shoe size. The shoe size is this. What is your capacity of understanding what you are doing? Some of us do not know the true capacity of what we're doing because we're trying to fill someone else's shoes. Don't get me wrong, my friends. Don't let it confuse you when I say this. Sometimes we are putting on the wrong shoe because we're in the wrong size. You do not know your full capacity. So you are putting on someone else's shoes because it looks good. Have you ever heard the phrase, it looks gooder, better on the other side? The grass looks greener on the other side. Why do we say that? Because your perception, which somebody better catch this, your perception of what you see on the other side appears to look better, but you don't understand that the person on the other side knows their capacity. They know their shoe size. They know what it takes to walk in that shoe. I just told you that in a photo, I put a picture of a tennis shoe and I put on a picture of a pump. Why? Because I knew the capacity of walking in both. See, some of you are working too far advanced of what your shoes can handle. Sometimes you need to put on your sneakers and run because where you got to get to causes you to move faster, right? But if you have on a size 3 tennis shoe and you wear a size 8, your foot is scrunched up until it causes pain. You don't know the true capacity of the size of your shoe. Again, know your size. See, the thing is, when you put on that shoe, you are crunching up the spirit. You are crunching up what really needs to happen in you, right? When you put on the proper size shoe, when you know your place, When you know your lane, let me just say it that way, because some of you may not catch it unless I break it down in a different level. You may have to stay in your lane. Don't always look for somebody. Let me tell you something. As a life coach, as a life purpose coach, one of the things that I help my clients do, I help the people that come to me do, is I help them see where they are and where they want to get to. That's called transformation. That's called understanding your purpose. That's called understanding the next level of where you need to get to. See, this is the thing. My people that are 40 and over, let me tell you something. You may feel stuck in the mud, but you're not stuck. You just need to refresh yourself. Some of you need to change out of the shoes that you're in right now. Some of you have been wearing the same pair of shoes for so long that it has gotten to be old. Know your shoe size. Why? Because sometimes, I don't know about you, some of you ladies out there that are watching right now may be able to adjust to assist me in this. I've learned that as I've gotten older, that my shoe size seems to be somewhat a little bit off. Where I used to wear this size shoe in a wide, now I have to wear this shoe size, this particular shoe size in a narrow. Why? Because it seems like my foot may somehow have shrunk a little bit. And that's okay. Because when I was in school back in the day, believe it or not, Ginger could probably tell you, back in the early 70s, maybe, I was one of the tallest girls in my class at that time. But now my children tease me and say, Mama, you're short. Why? Because sometimes there comes a shrinkage, right? Know your shoe size. I don't know about you, but sometimes the size shoe that you have on has shrunk. It has changed the way that it looks. Okay, I want to go to this point. You better understand, you better say that, Kimberly, you had time to change your shoes. Can I be honest with you? Sometimes we as older women think that we can still wear the 4.5-inch pumps. Let me tell you, baby. Well, my friend Sylvia Cook says, baby, let me tell you something. Can I be honest with you? I can't wear the 4.5-inch heels like I used to. Life has come and hit me in certain areas that I can't wear that size shoe right now. Notice I said right now, because there's some things that's transitioning in my body. Can I be honest with you? You have to go with the flow. Sometimes that shoe that you're wearing may need to be replaced. Can somebody hashtag, it's time to replace your shoe? Hashtag, it's time to replace your shoe. Come on now, somebody hashtag that for me. It's time to replace your shoe. Now, this is the thing. I want to tell you that sometimes you have to change your perspective of what you're walking in. Okay, see, if I was able to stand this morning, I would probably walk on the floor right now because I feel my hip coming on. See, this is the thing. Sometimes you have to replace the shoe. Come on, somebody hashtag that for me. It's time to replace your shoe. Come on, put that out there for me, please. It's time to replace your shoe. Why? Because sometimes this is what happens. Your ankles and your foot don't act the same way. Sometimes you have got to understand that you are at a different level in your life now that causes you to have to look at things on a different level. When you get to be 40 and older, let me tell you what happens. That mindset of what happened yesterday begins to transition to a different level. Why is that? Because you have gotten wiser in some instances. You've learned some things in some instances, and you've gotten to a place where you can actually, let me see, I want to use this for one group of people. You may manipulate it one way, and in the other area, you may have gotten smarter and you've learned how to do things differently. It's time to change your shoes. Sometimes you got to replace that shoe because it doesn't fit the character of the person that's walking in it now. See, this is the thing. I know sometimes we've used this phrase, and I've used it myself. You see certain people with certain attire on, and we'll look at them on the side eye like, Come on, some of y'all do this with me right now. You see something that doesn't look exactly appropriate in the ring, right? You see someone with something on that is not, should we say, appropriate for the atmosphere that they're in. Have you ever watched somebody have on something that was too tight, or it was too short, or it, come on. Can I just tell you, there's some of my old folks out there. Can I encourage you on today? It's okay to look young, but look young in your own perspective. It's time to change your shoes. You can't wear the same beat teeny boppy outfit that you wore when you were 17, baby. You can't do it. Why? Because there's some things that's hanging low, and there's some things that have expanded to the side. You got to understand that that's okay. There's still some things that look like the Tina Bopper that you was in that is more appropriate for you in this season. I don't know who I'm talking to right now. It's time for you to change your shoes, baby. Sometimes when you are trying to be in an atmosphere over here, sometimes you need to understand that it's about changing the shoe. You can look like a teeny bopper in your mind, but baby, them shoes is too tight now. You're wobbling now. You got some things that are hanging too low now. You got the things that are expanded to the side too wide now. It's time for you to put it in perspective. And let's get it together, because when you have gotten to a certain level of maturity, you understand the concept of looking appropriate for your age. Let me tell you something. This is some things that I've learned over the last several years, that sometimes we're too worried about living in our past that we're still wearing on the Tina Bopper shoes that we both wore back in the day. I can't wear some of them 14-inch heels that I used to wear, because guess what? I got older ankles. I'm not old. I have mature ankles now. And my mature ankles say it's better to be safe than to be tight. It says that sometimes I got to balance out what's above than what is below. See, that means that sometimes you got to change your atmosphere. You got to change the perspective of how you think about some things. Just because you're 40 now and 42 doesn't mean that you got to stop living life. It just means that you have to live life in a different capacity. Good morning, Deborah. You have to live it in a different capacity. See, this is the thing. It's time to change your shoes, right? Because sometimes you forgot what size you wore, and the size that you wore has increased or decreased, but now it's time to change that shoe. I want to talk to you just a little bit about, it's important that you walk in your shoe now. It's time. It's important for you to walk in your shoe. It's important for you to walk in your shoe. Not my shoe, not Ginger's shoe, not Kim's shoe, not Jack's shoe, but your shoe. It's time for you to walk in your shoe. You say, well, how is that possible if you just told me that I got to change? Well, change comes for a reason. It came because now you're mature. My pastor talked about this last night for a little bit in the Bible study, and I'm going to piggyback because she had no idea what I was talking about this morning. Check this out. When you was a child, you talk like a child, you act like a child, and you wore shoes like a child. But baby, you're not a child no more. Hey, Shareba, you're not a child no more. Now it's time to put away childish shoes. The reason why some of us are afraid to move to our next level is because we are afraid of the success of the new pairs of shoes that we're wearing. We are afraid of those shoes because it came with maturity. Can I be honest with you? Some of us are learning, even as we're moving now, that we can't do the things the way that we used to do some things, right? I can't sell you on a bag of jelly beans like I used to, because now I'm a type 2 diabetic. I am healed from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. Okay, come on now, let's be real. I can't sell you on eating a whole bag of jelly beans. Anybody know me, my students know me. Anybody knows I love good candy, but I cannot eat it like I used to. So guess what I'm doing now for my grandchildren, my grandsons? Guess what I'm telling them? You can have candy in moderation. Why? Because that came with wisdom. See, some of you got to understand that when the season change, it's time for you to change your shoes. You got to know how to put on the right shoe. The new shoe that you have on came with a level of maturity. I don't wear what was the little shoes that we used to wear back in the day? I know Ginger used to have some. You know the little jelly shoes, they little ones that had a little sparkly lights that lit up when you walked. Those kinds of shoes, that's okay for the young folks right now. But as a mature woman, I don't think I would be appropriate if I was wearing the little sparkly, lighting up shoes at almost 60. I'll be 60 in October. Well, I don't think that'd be appropriate. See, you got to know your shoe, baby. It's time for you to understand that it was maturity comes change. The jellies, Jesse and Georgia, the jellies. I can't wear the jellies unless they're gonna make a new version. I don't know. Ginger, I'm gonna throw you some business right there. Maybe you can make the adult version of the jellies now. Because guess what? There's a way that we have to different ways to position it, right? Like I said earlier, a few minutes ago, I can't sell you on eating a whole bag of jelly beans like I used to back in the day. But what I can do is tell you that you can eat jelly beans in moderation. Why? Because as a diabetic, I have learned that there's some things I got to do in a moderation. There's some eating habits that I got to change for moderation purposes, right? But the thing is, I'm going to tell you is jelly beans are good. Sour Patch Kids, if you want to be on my good side, buy me a bag of those. Those are good in moderation. See, the thing is, when you change your shoe size, when you change your shoe, you begin to change the perspective of how you look at it. See, how I look at cartoons now, the cartoons that we're watching today, is totally different from when I watched Tom and Jerry back in the day. Sometimes I watch the cartoons that my grandsons watch, and I'm looking sort of like, what they got to do with me? So you got to know your shoe. You got to know your shoe. Know your shoe. Let me say that again. Know your shoe. Your shoe speaks of your maturity level. Some of you are still wearing the jellies because you're still trying to be jailed and you don't need to. Some of you are wearing things, even mental things that you don't need to carry anymore. Some of you are still acting like you're 2 when you're 102. Let's get with the program. Let's know what size. It used to be a saying. And let me say, I'm gonna try to get this right, okay? But y'all work with me because the brain fog sometimes hit. Check this out. We should say you gotta the way you're acting like your shoe size. Y'all remember saying that? You would get mad with somebody and say, you acting like your shoe size, baby. Because you know why? Because some of you are still acting like you're a size 8 when you're 180. You should be able to have transformed. You should be able to have matured now, where you don't have to be so worried about what all of these other things are. You should be at a certain maturity level where some things can roll off your back. I don't know who I'm talking to this morning because some of y'all don't know that you're acting like a size 3 when baby you're a size 100 and you are age 103. Good morning, Monique. Huh? Ginger, I will tell you just like this. Sometimes folks got to understand that it's not what you purchase, it's how you wear it. Because sometimes the things that we're looking at, sometimes the things that you want to be, you got to know where to get it at for you. See, this is the thing. Over the past, I'm going to be 60 in October. I'm going to say over the last 10 years, I've had to adjust my attitude, how I look at certain things. I don't look at certain things like I used to. When I see this good looking man walk by now, he may look good, he may smell good, but baby, Sylvia Coons is somewhere in my atmosphere because I hear it again. Baby. Let me just tell you, looks are deceiving. It's the quality that I'm looking for. See, some of you are still wearing the jellies because you don't look for the quality of your ankles. You don't look for the quality of what is going to support you. See, some of you are wearing jellies because that's what your mindset is, gelled. It shakes with whatever's happening in your atmosphere. You're not stable. See, if you would put on a good old-fashioned pair, I was a Converse girl long before they made them famous, baby. My mama would tell, girl, you're going to remember wearing them sneakers in the wintertime when it's snowing. You better put you on some boots. But let me tell you something. Those Converse tennis shoes, baby, had support to them. They gave me what I needed. When I put on my sneakers now, I got to look at them real good to see if they have the support that I need. See, some of you have got to understand that you're 40 now. You're 38 and holding. Some of you are 32 and holding. That's okay to hold it as long as you know what's supporting you. Your shoe size needs to be adjusted. You need to know what you're wearing. You need to know what you're walking in. Some of you are not doing what you need anymore. Some of you are not, you're afraid to wear a shoe. You are afraid to support something that's going to build you up. You're 40 now and you're still trying to wobble. Weebles wobble, but they say they don't fall down. Well, the reason why they don't fall down is because they're wobbling. Some of you are wobbling in your shoes because they can't support you anymore. You're wobbling because you do not know where you really stand. You're wobbling because you feel stuck in your atmosphere where you at. You think all of this is what's going to matter. I'm going to go back to that man that walked by that smells good and looks good. I'm going to go to that young lady that looks good and has the big hips. But can those looks support you? If your heel broke right now, would that good smell be able to pick you up? See, the thing is, some of us are waiting for the wrong things to support us. Your shoes, they have no more support. They can't hold you anymore. Sometimes you got to take off that flashing outfit. You got to get a move away from that flashing smell and that all put together figure and ask yourself, can it support my endeavors? See, I don't know about you. Good morning, Regina. I don't know about some of you, but in my life right now, I'm not looking for what smells good. I'm not looking at what has the right hips, because I never looked at the right hips anyway. I always looked at the smell good. Let me just put that out there. I look at the tall, 6 foot, girls, what I'm saying. But at the same token, do you not understand that sometimes you gotta evaluate that? You gotta separate that. You gotta be able to maneuver it. See, some of you are still wearing the jellies because you're shaped just like that. You roll with whatever it is in the atmosphere. Let me tell you something. When you get 40 and older, you learn how to sit down yourself and begin to really evaluate life. You have to evaluate what that shoe is really doing for you now. Sometimes Deborah gave me a pair of beautiful shoes a couple of years ago. Deborah, I love those shoes. I'm going to put them back on again. The shoe is so mature. And I might have to show it. Deborah, if I put a picture up there, you're going to know immediately. That particular shoe that Deborah gave me reflects who I am. It's a mature shoe. It's a slight heel on it. It's not the 17-inch heel I used to wear back in the day, because I never really was a big flashy girl. I was always a tomboy. But this particular shoe reflects my character. It has a shades of blue in it because I'm a blue girl. But check this out. It speaks of my character. When I put that shoe on, Deborah, if you remember, I put that shoe on with a blue dress that I had because I was a motivational speaker at an event. And I put those shoes on, and as I strutted across the floor, it spoke of my maturity level. It spoke of the content of what's in my heart. See, some of you are still waiting to see what life is all about. When you turn 40, you got to start you look at things on a different level, your perspective of things. Oh, yay, Deborah, I just got excited. Deborah's my shoe lady. When I tell you, when you understand your true character, you will walk appropriately in the style that reflects you. When you are at a certain level of age, as Kimberly says, we look at life differently. See, if you're still looking at things like Scooby-Doo, where are you? And you still have that mentality of Scooby-Doo, then you haven't matured. Life didn't stop with that bunch getting in that van of multicolors and figuring out the mystery. Some of you are walking in the wrong set of shoes. You haven't matured. Some of you are stuck in a place where you don't want to be because that's what you learned and that's why you stayed. Can I be honest with you? Life has changed for us. It's gotten better. I know it may not feel good, but maybe it's because you got on a tight shoe. Maybe you got on a shoe that doesn't support your ankles. Maybe it's time for you to look at your maturity level. Maybe it's time to put away childish things and put on the whole armor of who you really are. Do you need help? Because let me tell you something. I needed help. I found out that there was a lot of people out there that that I thought was on my level that they weren't. They hadn't even reached my age group. They didn't even know what I was talking about. Sometimes with technology, I have to ask people that know this stuff. Because guess what? That's not me. I had a conversation with someone yesterday who's getting ready to empower my business. Oh my God. And make my business go to another level. To God be the glory. Why? Because I know my lane. My lane is to empower and to inspire other people. My lane is to be able to educate you of how to rebuild and look at your positive characteristics that you don't have to go back to the 1920s to live in. See, I know my lane. See, I make grease because I enjoy it. And it's profitable. But when you know your lane, when you know your true shoe size, your true shoe size will cause you to catapult yourself to the next level. See, some of us are waiting to move to our next level, and it's because we have gotten stuck. It's time to move out of that place of being stuck. It's time to ask ourselves a question. Are we ready to move into a new set of shoes? It's time for us to move because our maturity level has changed. Our maturity level has changed. I play with my grandsons because I love to experience the life that they have. But guess what happens? That maturity level that I experience now is because my shoe size has changed. I stopped wearing a 3 a long time ago, baby. And I stopped having the mentality of a 3-year-old a long time ago, baby. I'm a mature, grown, ooh, I almost said something not so nice. I'm a mature, grown A woman doing mature, grade A things. But what I learned was I stay in my lane. This young lady that I talked to yesterday, that's going to help empower my business. I'm throwing some things her way because guess what? These little young kids now, they got all this technology down pat. But what they don't understand is I was doing some of the ish that you was doing way back in the day on a different level. But now that I am mature, I can do it on a different level. I can meet the goal and expectations that God has set for me. How about you? It's time to take out the jellies and put on some real shoes with support. Know your circle. Know the people that's in the circle with you. Sit down, let's have a conversation. Let's talk a little bit. I had someone reach out to me the other day and said, I just need to have a conversation. That's good, because sometimes we need to evaluate where we're at right now. Because at your 40s, life looks almost hopeless. Like, everybody in the nest is empty and you're still waiting to live your life. Can I be honest with you? I had a revelation to myself that, I have my children at young ages. My daughters are 34, 33, 32. I think that's right. If it ain't right there, tell me. Hey, I'm past 40. I ain't got to remember anybody's age. I just remember the birthdays. Anywho, guess what? They're technically out of my nest because I don't have to do certain things for them. They take care of themselves. Some of you need to let your children be adults, and you need to let them out the nest. The reason why sometimes you're still holding on to them is because you're stuck. You're stuck. The kids ain't stuck. You're stuck. You still want to be the one that they respond to and answer to. Let me be honest with you. That's not going to happen when you get in a certain age group, because sometimes your kids, they don't need to tell you everything. Can I be honest with you? There's some things you don't want your kids to tell you anyway. It's time to cut the umbilical cords and let our children live their lives. You're holding on to them because you're holding on to that time frame that seem real. Stop being stuck. If you're stuck, it's time for us to have a conversation. I am the professional achievement facilitator. I need you to get unstuck with me. I don't care about them other coaches. I'm talking about me, because I've been where you been. I've been stuck. I was stuck a long time, y'all, until I realized that it wasn't my shoe size. It was where I was walking that mattered. I had to change the shoe to fit the goal that I was going to. Some of you need to take off the old shoe and put on a new pair. Your maturity level, your support level has changed. It's time to move on. Are you doing the same job and you feel like you can't do it anymore? That's an indication that you're stuck. Are you feeling like you're just drowning in the same bucket of mud? That's because you're stuck. What I'm offering you is this, an opportunity to get unstuck. When I teach my positive self-building class, I teach you about self-respect, self-worth, self-confidence, self-control, self-esteem. I teach you about a whole series of things. And some of my students are out there today. They can tell you. I'm teaching you how to get unstuck. I'm teaching you that it's okay to say no and mean it. You're welcome, Sharifa. Sharifa. Girl, we got to get unstuck. Sharifa ain't stuck. She's stuck. She's one of them young, smart whippersnappers. When I tell you, when I teach my positive self-building class, I teach my students to stop thinking about the past. Don't get me wrong, the past is necessary in order for us to help us have a foundation. That's not what I'm talking about. You got to be in class and know what I'm talking about. There's a way to, yes, Mom, no is a complete sentence. And I teach them in my class that it's only a period and an exclamation point at the end of a no. And I also teach you the techniques of saying no. Because right now, I'm saying no. Look at the face. Stop walking in the same old pair of shoes that the heel has broken on. Let's move to our next, baby. All right, guys, I got to roll up out of here. It's time for me to make some phone calls. I got to get these people that keep trying to worry me about coming back to work. I got to get them straight on today, because I ain't getting stuck anywhere. Not getting stuck with anyone. I can tell you that there's going to be some information that you're going to want to check out on my webpage, Victoria Elevates. The website is victoriamholland.com. Somebody put that in the chat, in the comment section for me. victoriamholland.com. There's going to be just a little bit of something out there that's going to help us talk about change. You're not going to see it on Facebook, but you will see it on my website. All right, guys, I got to roll up out of here. But I want you to always think about this. It's time to know your shoe. I hope something has been said this morning that has empowered you, impacted you, and inspired you to move to your next. Thanks, Sharifa. Girl, I got to hire you. It's time for you to move to your next. I hope you have heard something this morning that's going to do that. I hope something has empowered you to move to your next. Because guess what? It's time. And I got to do it with the other arm, because this arm is locked right now. It's time for you to be elevated and not tolerated. We'll see you Sunday night. An uncensored conversation with Elevated, Not Tolerated. Stay tuned. There's some things happening that we're being a part of, and I want you to be with me, right? One of the things is I'm going to be on unapologetically on Sunday, this coming Sunday at 2 o'clock. The flyer is going to be out there. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be there Sunday at 2 o'clock, unapologetically, with my good friend Nakia Nesbitt. I'm going to be with her on Sunday at 2 o'clock. Then at 8 o'clock, we're going to be on Uncensored Conversation with Dr. Robert and D. Falk. They're going to be with my guests on Uncensored Conversation. Coming May the 14th. May the 14th. Favor is Fair Summit 2 is headed your way. You don't want to miss it. But before that, April 30th, I'm going to be with my good friend, Lisa Del Washington. That girl done brought back the power of Shut Up. And we're going to be with her on, that's right, April 30th. You don't want to miss it. Check out my webpage. Check out my page itself. You're going to hear more about it. All right, guys. Have a great day. And always remain elevated, not tolerated. And know them shoes, baby. Baby. Where's Sylvia Coots? Baby, baby. I'll see you real soon.